Welcome back to Good Morning Texas. We have Langston Dillard with us here today in the newsroom. How are you doing today, Langston?
I'm doing phenomenally. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. We have our 24/7 show going, so as you can see behind the scenes, everything's going a little crazy, but we're still making it.
Nice.
Well, we have Langston here today to talk to us about his new blog called the 4.5 blog. So can you tell us the meaning behind the title and as well as what sparked your interest?
So the meaning behind the title is the percentage of the student body that identifies as black or black and multiracial. There is a large, after doing some research, I found that roughly 3.9% of the UT student body identifies as black, and then 0.6% identify as black and of two or more races. And I wanted to make sure to include both of those identities in this narrative that I'm trying to piece together.
Wow, that's really awesome, because that is such a specific number, and to be publicizing it for social media, which is so well used nowadays. What would you say is the ultimate goal you want to accomplish through this blog?
Yeah, I think largely visibility. It's definitely an issue of representation at the campus, as far as the small number of black students who have a platform to express themselves and to express what they're doing and to express how their racial identity impacts their experiences here on campus. So ultimately, to give a platform and to help inform the community.
Okay, so it sounds like your big goal and your motivation is you want to impact the community. So how have you done? I know it's a new
Yeah.
blog, but how so far have you impacted the community?
Yeah, largely, and it is super new. Largely, I've been able to gauge that through the responses that I've gotten, with people talking to me about how much this has been needed, and how they have felt like, they, meaning some of my black friends, have felt like there hasn't been a space like this for them before. So yeah, to answer your question.
No, that's awesome to see that people are already understanding and basically gravitating towards it for something that they don't have, but realizing that they need.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's great that you're able to create something like that as a second year here at UT. I noticed in your blog you say there is no correct story.
Yeah.
So what do you mean by that?
By that I mean that at no point do I ever mean to imply that any of the stories that I'm talking about on the blog are the way that you should experience your identity at the school. I don't believe that there's a correct way to feel about your race. I don't believe there's a correct way to feel about your identity. So I think that I wanted to emphasize that I don't ever want to say that just because this person feels this way, all black people should feel this way. Because that's one thing I'm not trying to do. I am not trying to be the voice of all black people. In fact, that's the opposite of why I'm creating this blog.
Wow, so I really see these even though you're an advertising major, I'm seeing these journalistic styles and techniques behind this. You're really staying neutral, but really getting the voice across of the 4.5% of African Americans or multiracial. And so how has the advertising major, if it has, how has it impacted and helped you with this project?
Yeah, so the project was actually an assignment for one of my public relations courses. So I think that's kind of where that piece is together. As far as advertising itself, I think some of the courses I've taken have largely focused on different elements of race and racial demographics, and so I think that's helped with just some of the research and things like that.
Oh wow, it's so interesting. So really, classwork really does help us with the real world, right?
It really does, sometimes, yeah.
That is so awesome. So what is the biggest thing you want people to take away from this, and what are the big plans you have for the future of this blog?
Yeah. As far as the plans for the future, I want to keep it going for as long as I possibly can. And I have a lot of potential people to interview, so I think I trust that I can do that. As far as long-term goals, for the blog itself, I ultimately just want to help spark more of a conversation. I know that one already exists, so I don't at any point want to take credit for this current discussion, but I do want to I want to aid in that conversation, and I want people to be able to have conversations about, or maybe even ask questions about why there are so few black students at this university, and things like that.
Okay. Wow. So any final words you want anyone else to know about the 4.5 blog?
I think that's absolutely
That's
it. Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
You've been
Well,
awesome.
thank you so much for joining us.
yeah.
I'm so excited about what you have to offer in the future.
Thank you so much.
Well, stay tuned for more of our 24/7 Good Morning Texas.